Hi, everybody. Welcome to All Things Metaphysical podcast. This is February 21st,
Yep,
2024, if I get the dates right, because apparently I've been off a day all week.
cool.
I'm
In
a
which
day ahead,
direction?
which was very disappointing when I realized today is really only Wednesday and not Thursday, and I have 2 more days of work, not one.
Yeah, I get that. Yep.
So, welcome. Kelly and I were trying to decide what we were going to talk about before the show today, and all we've got is everything is weird.
Everything is very weird. Uh, Very weird, yes.
Now, welcome to our viewers. If you have questions or things you want us to talk about, other than everything is weird, we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
I can't. Today, I woke up and I've been off all day, waiting for something to happen today. And I don't think it's anything like terrible or things like that, but energetically I have been unsettled all day. And no matter what I've tried to do, I can't seem to settle myself.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people talking about that. I don't know because I haven't looked and I haven't tuned in to ask. I don't know why so many people are, it's just unsettled. I mean, that's the only way you can describe it. I've had people tell me they were frustrated because they feel like something is happening, but it doesn't happen, or they should be doing something, but they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. So there's a lot of that. You're in good company.
Yeah, it's just odd because I don't often get that. Like I'm usually able to settle myself in some way afterwards or Um, so it's just odd. It's just a very odd week.
Yeah.
And I just feel like till we get to March, everything is ramping up. I don't know what we're ramping up for, but again, it
No
feels like
idea.
everything is, and it's like really weird. So I'm in the Chicagoland area. This is February 21st. It's 60 degrees outside.
Oh, we were 80 yesterday, 72 today, I
I know,
think.
but it's the middle of winter,
Yes.
60
Yes.
degrees.
Yes.
But
And my
there's
poor
also
friends in California are being swept out to sea right now. So yeah, lots going on.
It's
Yes,
just odd. Again, I go back,
it is.
everything is just odd. It's like we're living in some kind of paradox. Hello, viewers. If you are watching us live and you have questions and you have things that you want us to talk about, please put them in the comments section.
Please.
And otherwise, Kelly and I are going to just keep talking about things being weird.
Yeah, because things are weird. Yeah.
Oh, I remember one of the things earlier in the week or last week we talked about how do you know if you're getting a new guide? Or
Well, in my case, they pop up and say, "Hi." You
but if
got-
you're not attuned to noticing that stuff, how do you know?
I think people need to settle down a little bit. Um, I teach, and I have students. I have two different kinds of students. I have the type of students that are just sitting there waiting like little Buddhist monks. And I have the other ones who are like, let's do this, let's do this. How do I do this?
For me.
Yeah, it's just you have to, you cannot force this. It has to come to you. But you have to be willing to look at it when it's in front of your face. And I think people get afraid, they get terrified. What is this? What is this? Oh my God, what do I do? And if you just take a deep breath, take a step back and ground is a good thing to do then. Then you just go through it.
Yeah, because I know for myself, I got a new guide this week. So I thought that was interesting. I haven't gotten a new guide in a really long time.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So again, if you are watching and you have questions, please put them in the comment section and we will be happy to answer them. And I'm just going to keep repeating that. Get surprised by a new guide.
Mm, in my case, I generally feel like one is going to appear before they do. It's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to move forward. And that's when a new guide appears. So, not
Yeah.
really shock.
I just, interesting. Sometimes I know I've gotten one, but I don't always know their name.
Right.
Energetically, I feel them, but this one was very specific. And I think it's funny because multiple days this week I woke up hearing songs, but spirit, it's like I'm in Weird Al Yankovic. Spirit is changing the words to the songs.
That's
Like I
funny.
woke up to a Neil Diamond song the other day, but it's not the words that Neil Diamond sings in the song.
That's funny.
Uh, it was the song Blue, Neil Diamond song, but they kept saying, I don't remember what the real words are, but they kept singing, everybody singing. It was truly bizarre. I mean, the metaphysical jukebox has been on pretty loudly the last couple weeks, but that was just odd even for me. And then they were singing another song the next day, but I don't remember. And then one of their favorites to sing is the Creed song Higher. We're going to take you higher. And I'm like, great, I need to go higher. Any higher, I'm not going to be on the planet anymore.
Yeah. That's something that I've heard a lot of people say too recently is they don't feel like they're on the planet anymore. They feel like they're sort of floating out there. And I think lack of grounding is like becoming a new pandemic. People aren't grounding, they're like floating. I don't know what we do about that.
Well,
But
what if, though, we're going to play the what if game for a minute.
yeah. Yay.
What if those of us who don't feel like we're on the planet really aren't? We're on the new Earth, but our physical body's still on the
Right,
here.
right. Still hanging on here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's could be true with many of the people that I've heard say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about it till now, but I just wonder if that isn't part of what's going on. One of the questions is, have you ever gotten a new powerful guide and wondered how you were worthy of such a powerful guide?
Yeah. My hair is stuck in the back of this jacket and it's bothering me. Yeah,
I
all
think
the
the
time.
guides come in when we need them. I think our human brain attaches to their significance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're just a guide, right? They're just on the other side doing their job, and we're on this side trying to do our job. I don't think one is definitely higher than the other. Or do your guides speak about specific things? Well, which guides are we talking about? Are we
Right.
talking about the ones who make me draw the mandalas? Yes. And they're very specific about the colors I use and what they're called. So, um, yeah.
Yeah, usually they're very specific.
So, yeah, it's just a strange, I passed something today. I had to pick my uncle up from a procedure in the morning, and I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know if the guy just fell off his bike in front of the car. I don't know what happened. Because it had happened before I got there. But, I waited to make sure that it was taken care of before I left. And then I just found myself sitting there sending lots and lots of energy just for the highest good of everyone involved. And I was late to get home to do the things I needed to do, but I made the decision that that was more important.
Yeah, people generally don't just fall off of their bikes.
Well,
Like
I don't know what happened because it happened before I got
right
there.
out there, yeah.
So, yeah. So one of the people watching says, my guides speak all the time. The conversation usually starts out with Miss Anita and goes from there. They are quite funny sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think think most guides have a really good sense of humor, and I'm going to be blasphemous. Even Jesus has a really good sense of humor. I
Yeah.
mean, we have this vision of him being super serious and things like that, but he's really very funny.
Yeah. He is very funny. Yeah. I found working with divine guides, most of them are very, very funny. Yep.
And maybe that's because we pay attention, when things are funny, it's a higher vibration. So maybe it's
Yeah.
easier for them to communicate with us when we're laughing and it's funny. I never
Right.
thought about that till now, but that's
Yeah.
probably true.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be
They're
true.
raising our vibration with humor so that we can more easily understand them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, hadn't thought about that till now, but that actually makes a lot of sense.
That is, yeah.
I have some guides that are uber serious though, and like kick my butt when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Generally, even then, mine are funny. Yeah.
Yeah, mine generally aren't. Well, again, I think it comes back to what you're working on. And sometimes the messages that they have for me are really serious about humanity. So those just generally don't tend. Let me try that again and try and get my mouth to match the words that I'm trying to say. I feel like I'm in one of those things where I'm out of sync and my mouth is moving different than the words are moving.
Old kung fu movies are the best. Yeah.
I've been dubbed. Uh-oh, they're starting. So yeah, so I forgot where I was going with that.
I
They're
guess
just talking up a storm right now, so I'm just
they're choosing the next song on the jukebox. That's what they're doing. I think really what it comes down to for me, anyway, is be nice to yourself, be nice to everybody else. Everybody is literally everyone is going through something right now.
you have
So
to say that, right? Because Jesus is like, okay, so of course, what song is he singing? Any guesses? This little light of mine.
okay. I just think we need to be nicer to each other because everyone's going through something. Everyone.
And I think, I guess there is a message with that, in that we actually all are a beacon of light. And it's really important at this particular time in the world to let our light shine. I don't know where the hell I am right now.
I don't either. Yeah. Don't know where I am.
You don't know where you are, or you don't know where I am.
Either one. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Well,
when I don't have specific things to talk about, we're all over the place.
this is what happens. See, you guys need to give us some topics here. One thing that I had, it wasn't a discussion that I was involved in. I was listening to a
Mhm.
couple of students, and they kept going back to music and spirituality. And we have talked before on the show
Mhm.
about using certain words, and it can be a positive thing and it can be a big release. Music can also be that. And
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of like thrash metal, but there are some bands that I listen to um, that will change my mood that quick.
Mhm.
And a lot of those bands are heavier bands, but I'm also kind of a, I don't even know, I guess it's alternative, considered alternative now. But music is very important in your spirituality. You don't listen to what anyone else says. If somebody's telling you you only have to listen to, gongs and crystal bowls, no, you don't have to do that. Listen to what you like naturally
Mhm.
and let that work for you. Let that, you know, raise your vibration, because music will do that.
There's a song that I posted on Facebook a couple days ago because it's actually one of the songs I was listening to when I was creating some of the new hope mandalas. And 528 hertz in music is very healing. Yes, different frequencies have a different effect. And
Yep.
so this song was from, I believe, the 80s from a group. The group had a famous song called It's Raining Men, the Weather Girls. But there's a track on the album because I actually have the album as Hope. The song is actually called Hope. And it is such a, and their voices, it is just such a powerful, uplifting song. And that message is so perfect for what's going on in the world right now. So if anyone wants to look it up, the Weather Girls, the song is Hope, called Hope. But yeah, I was listening to that a lot. And their other favorite song to sing in my head, and I still to this day do not know why, but it's every day they sing it, is Pure Imagination from the original Willy Wonka movie with Gene Wilder. Every day they sing it.
That's funny. And someone said you will normally be guided to the music that you need at a certain time. And that's very true too. I know if I am having to clean my house in a big hurry, it's Metallica. I'm sorry, it just is. But it's normally I'm more alternative. So
You know what's fun to do? Like if you have a lot of music on, if you have an MP3 player or your phone, is you like ask a question and then you just hit the shuffle button and you see what song comes on.
yeah, anyone looking through my playlist right now would think I'm like 17 different people, seriously, because I listen to classical, I listen to jazz, I listen to alternative, I listen to, everything at
Mhm.
some point or another. So my playlist is,
Even show tunes?
I do actually.
Because you didn't say show tunes. So, okay.
Yeah, I listen to everything,
Mhm.
pretty much. It's, but it's different music at different times. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but I just think it's important. Music sometimes helps you get in touch with feelings that you oftentimes have a hard time getting in touch with. But
Yeah.
one of the things, though, is if you're in kind of a depressed mood and listen to depressing music,
Well, yeah, you
it
don't
will,
want to do that.
it will prolong that. So, I mean, I think it's okay to do for a while, and then you need to change the playlist. Even there was a concept in DBT called opposite to emotion action.
Yeah.
So you have to do the opposite of how you're feeling to shift how you're actually feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep.
So what else?
I don't know. So you watch a lot of Gaia TV, right? Are there good shows that you would recommend for people?
Um, they've got a lot of new series coming on. I just went through one on the whole Shakespeare conspiracy thing. I'm kind of, into that conspiracy. Yes, I'm there. That was pretty good because of the guy who was in the series. He was really good at presenting it and packaging it where you could really understand it. Um, but there's a lot of other stuff that they have. They have a series on channeling. Um, there's one. Remember the guy when everyone was putting butter in their coffee? He's got a series on Gaia now, called biohacking. Um, I haven't watched that one yet, but anytime I see someone
Mhm.
that I have seen previously, he came out of the computer industry in Silicon Valley. Well, I lived there, so I knew who he was when he was over 300 pounds. And now here's this guy who has completely reinvented his life and he's lost over 100 pounds. And anyone who makes that kind of a momentous life change kind of intrigues me. And it's like, what was going on in your head? What was that all about? How did you come to that point? So I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to.
Somebody wants to know, what is biohacking?
If you Google biohacking, the guy's name is Dave Asprey. And he coined the term biohacking in like 2010. But it's interesting to me because I was familiar with who he was before he lost over 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you can do something to improve your health, I think is a good thing. Sometimes people get really, really, really rigid. I don't think that's a good thing because you're not going to stick with anything that's rigid. Come on. But in basics, what he was about was studying your biology and how your body actually works and what your body actually, what nutrients your body actually needs that, especially in a Western diet, we're just not getting. And then he was adding those into his diet. So I think it's intriguing. I'm going to watch it. I love Regina Meredith. She can do no wrong. Her show is Open Minds. I feel like I'm doing a commercial for Gaia TV. But
Well, I think that people are curious, and sometimes when you listen to people, you want to know what they're kind of listening to or where they get some of their information. I have two favorite, before Gaia, there used to be a movie thing where you got metaphysical movies.
yeah,
Can't remember what it's called now, but of course I belong to it, so I got all these metaphysical movies. But why can't I think of the name of one of them?
I
It's
know
so
what you're talking about, but I can't remember what the name of it was
well.
either.
And then my other favorite one is the Blue Butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Ever seen that one?
I've
So,
seen it, I haven't watched. Yeah,
but I can't think of the name of the other movie to save my life. I know who's in it. I can see the whole movie. I just can't think of what the name of it is.
that.
But so I think sometimes it's important to watch those for the messages. And I've talked about this before that once a year my spirit team makes me watch the movie The Core.
Yeah.
Every year, at least once a year, sometimes it's twice a year. They're like, you have to watch it now. And I'm like, I wonder what it is I'm supposed to get from it this
This
time.
time, yeah.
But it's funny, and it's like when we get those hunches, when we get those ideas, it's important to lean into them because those are coming from your intuition, right? And people always ask me, how does your intuition get stronger? Well, your intuition gets stronger when you start to follow those hunches and pay attention to them, because the more you start to pay attention to them, then the more messages they give you.
You have to pay attention to even the smallest thing.
Mhm.
One of my students, her car broke down. Now I've had car trouble of my own in the last year. It's just horrible. But about a month ago, she mentioned that she thought her car needed oil
Mhm.
and she didn't know how to check it. And so we went outside as a group and and it did need oil. It was down 2 quarts actually.
Mhm.
And, and then she was saying, well, it's not steering right. And all of these little things over the last month. And she was stranded on the side of the road yesterday. But you have to pay attention. That's the universe trying to tell you, get somebody to look at your car. Life doesn't just happen. We get little inklings along the way as to what we're supposed to do. And a lot of the time we just ignore it. So stop ignoring it.
Sorry, I'm going to find the name of this movie because it's going to bug the crap out of me until I do. Um, The Last Mimsy.
Ah, okay. All right.
That's a really cool movie if you haven't seen it. I recommend it. And, of course, all the Matrix movies. Because that is my life.
Yeah. Oh.
It's funny, Spirit told me that I was gonna be writing a new book, and I'm like, "I don't wanna write a new book." Right?
No, I've sworn off writing new books.
It's
Uh,
so much work to put a book together, and
it gets pricey, and
they're
yeah.
like, "And that's like the first of many." I'm like, "Well, how many more do I have to write?" I'm like,
Yeah, I released 3 last year, and that was just 3 too many. I just no, no more, no more.
well, it's funny because I Still Know What I Know popped up on my news feed, and I guess I published it 5 years ago.
Yeah,
So it's just funny when they pop up, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's been a well." I mean, I did publish that children's book and the Jesus book in the last I guess it's been 2 years already, a year and a half.
yeah.
So I guess I'm slacking because I was publishing fairly often.
I just I'm on a book writing hiatus.
Mhm. And then someone kind of suggested what my one of my upcoming books is gonna be about, and of course, me being who I am, no, I don't wanna write about
Yeah.
that. So, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Well, it always is, and there are a lot of changes on the horizon. But
Thank you, now they're singing the song "Ch ch ch changes."
yeah, yeah,
It's funny though, because at the beginning of this show, when we were talking about the metaphysical jukebox, I actually saw Spirit put money in a jukebox this time. I usually don't see that. They usually just play it, and then they pulled out like they held up their hand, and there was all this change in their hand, and I'm like, it's gonna be a long night.
yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
hmm I'm still stuck on music. They're singing "I Got the Music in Me."
I'm just stuck on the
Told you
weirdness.
they think they're hysterical. They're still singing "I Got the Music in Me." So,
Well,
all right, any of our viewers have any questions you want us to tackle this evening?
mm.
Things that make you go, "Hmm."
ah,
Yeah, either that or this is gonna be a really short show tonight. Ah, Big
yeah.
Orb just flew by.
It's just weirdness. I think that's pretty much the whole thing for me. Is it's just a lot of weirdness lately.
Well, I guess the other words, because 'cause they're showing me this image of a plane just going in circles, is that we're in a holding pattern right now. There's so many things and so many big decisions that have to be made by humanity and the universe that we're just in this holding pattern, which is why it feels like Groundhog Day almost.
It's something. It's big coming because I can't get a read on it other than it's big.
Mhm.
I did do a paranormal. I got called in for paranormal. It was not paranormal. It was multidimensional. It was much more interesting.
Was it like
Um,
Ghostbusters?
not quite. No, there's a property not too far from where I am, um, and they said paranormal activity. And in the middle of the night, they were seeing lights.
Uh-huh.
And generally speaking, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you're seeing lights at night, that's probably not paranormal. It's probably more multidimensional, and it was.
Mhm.
And it's all good now. But that's just weirdness. I don't get those kinds of calls. That's just weirdness. And yes, full moon coming up. What is it? The 24th, I think.
Yep,
Yeah.
24th.
Yeah.
24th.
Yeah. That is Saturday.
Now they're singing Turn the Beat Around. I told you they have a whole hand of quarters. It's gonna be a long night.
You're in disco mode now.
Yep.
Mm.
Well, at least they haven't started singing Up, Up and Away in My Beautiful Balloon yet. So I guess I get to stay grounded for a while.
Yeah, I've had trouble being grounded today. It's just pulled in many different directions.
However, going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show, if some of us are in the new earth, so to speak, how can you be grounded there and here?
Yeah, it's yeah, I do feel like I'm being pulled in different directions today.
Just interesting.
Yep, it is very interesting.
All right. Well, if no one else has any questions for us tonight, we will call it a show. And,
As it is.
I will be listening to music in my head for the rest of the evening. My son
Cool.
is laughing right now and thinks it's hysterical. Um, now they just showed me someone playing an accordion, and they're singing
Goody,
out the barrel.
goody. That
Yeah.
reminds me, I have to transfer the beer from the primary to the secondary. That has nothing whatsoever to do with metaphysics. I just brew beer.
So it's just interesting. That's not a song I listen to in my free time, roll out the barrel, but there you go. I apparently am going to have a very loud evening of music in my head.
Yeah, which is rough because then you can't turn down the volume.
Hmm. Guess I could ask them to be quieter.
They won't. They won't.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.